The finale of Night Shift for Cuties brings the series' biggest mystery to a close while delivering a surprisingly emotional message about identity, fandom, friendship, and family. What begins as a chaotic scandal involving the real and fake Boki becomes a story about two young women learning to stop chasing fantasies and start valuing the people who genuinely care about them. The biggest reveal in the finale is the confirmation that the woman Muti has been obsessively searching for is the real Boki, while another woman had been impersonating her as part of Chai's elaborate scheme. Muti expects this meeting to give her closure. For years, she's built an emotional connection to Boki in her mind, even seeing her as a symbolic replacement of the family connections she feels she lost, particularly after missing her father so deeply throughout her life. But the reunion doesn't go the way she imagined. Instead of embracing Muti, the real Boki rejects her and orders security to remove her. On the surface, the scene feels cruel. However, the finale subtly suggests that Boki herself is also a victim. She appears exhausted, traumatized, and emotionally drained, as though she spent years trapped inside a situation she never fully controlled. Rather than being the perfect idol Muti imagined, Boki turns out to be a flawed and damaged human being. That revelation is important because it destroys the fantasy that has been driving Muti's entire journey. Once Muti and Janar piece together the truth, they finally realize that Chai orchestrated the fake Boki situation from the beginning. The mystery itself matters less than what it symbolizes. Throughout the season, Chai represents obsession taken to its most dangerous extreme. While Muti and Janar are passionate fans, Chai crosses the line between admiration and unhealthy fixation. She manipulates identities, creates elaborate lies, and ultimately causes enormous harm to everyone involved. The finale makes a clear distinction between fandom and obsession. Muti spends much of the series worrying that she's become just as unstable as Chai. By the end, she realizes that isn't true. Her mistake wasn't loving Boki too much. Her mistake was believing that Boki could somehow fill emotional voids that only real relationships could heal. One of the most important scenes in the finale isn't connected to the scandal at all. It's the video message sent by Muti's family. While Muti has spent the entire season searching for answers, adventure, and emotional fulfillment in Korea, her family has been quietly worrying about her from home. Enda, Sigit, and Surya's message reminds her of something she's forgotten. She was never alone. The video becomes a turning point because it forces Muti to see the difference between fantasy and reality. She spent years chasing an idealized image of Boki, yet the people who truly loved her were waiting at home the entire time. When Muti watches her mother cry and hears her brother admit how much he needs her, she finally understands where her real support system has always been. That realization is what allows her to let go of the obsession. The concert sequence is one of the finale's most meaningful moments. After everything they've survived, Muti and Janar finally reach the venue, only to discover Janar's ticket is fake. Earlier in the series, Muti would have chosen the concert. The entire trip revolved around getting closer to Boki and experiencing the dream she'd built in her head. Instead, she gives away her own legitimate ticket. It's a small gesture, but it represents how much she's changed. For the first time, she values a real friendship more than a fantasy. Standing outside the venue with Janar, singing and dancing together, becomes more meaningful than anything that could have happened inside the arena. The moment proves that the people beside her matter more than the idol she spent years chasing. The finale also resolves Janar's biggest insecurity. Ever since becoming entangled in the Boki drama, Janar has worried that Indra only loves her because she resembles Boki. It's a fear rooted in self-doubt. Janar struggles to believe that someone could genuinely choose her for who she is. Muti finally challenges that belief. She points out that Indra knew the real Boki for years. If he wanted Boki, he already had plenty of opportunities to pursue her. Instead, he chose Janar. The finale never treats this as a grand romantic revelation. Instead, it becomes a lesson in self-worth. Janar's problem was never whether Indra loved her. It was whether she could believe she deserved that love. By deciding not to rush into marriage and instead start over slowly, Janar chooses something healthier than the fantasy she'd been living in. She and Indra can finally build a relationship based on reality instead of assumptions. Muti's return to Indonesia completes her emotional arc. At the beginning of the series, she's driven by longing. She misses her father, feels misunderstood by her family, and believes happiness exists somewhere else. The journey to Korea seems like an escape from all of those feelings. By the finale, she understands that running away never solved anything. Returning home isn't portrayed as a defeat, it's portrayed as growth. When she sits down with Enda, Sigit, and the rest of her family, the warmth of those scenes contrasts sharply with the chaos that surrounded Boki. For the first time, Muti stops looking for fulfillment in distant fantasies and begins appreciating the people who've always been present in her life. The final scenes of Night Shift for Cuties aren't actually about exposing Chai's scheme or solving the mystery of Boki. They're about identity. Both Muti and Janar spend much of the series defining themselves through other people. Muti defines herself through her obsession with Boki. Janar defines herself through her insecurities about love in comparison. By the end, both girls finally stop measuring themselves against impossible ideals. Muti realizes she doesn't need Boki to validate her life. Janar realizes she doesn't need to become someone else to deserve love. The series closes with the two friends laughing together and planning to watch the concert recording side by side. It's a simple ending, but that's exactly the point. After all the scandals, lies, and emotional chaos, happiness comes from genuine human connection rather than celebrity fantasies. The final message of Night Shift for Cuties is that idols, dreams, and fantasies can inspire us, but they can never replace the people who truly know us. In the end, Muti and Janar find something more valuable than meeting their heroes. They finally learn how to value themselves.